So I am really pushing like how quick I have to get going, but I figure I really want to narrate this battle I had because I streamed very, very shortly today, but this was one of the 2 or 3 good games I got from this stream. It was against a guy by the name of DemmQuagsires, I think, and I don't really keep up with the tiers this generation because they're still very much up in the air, up in limbo, and this is going to be a one take kind of thing, so I don't really have time for another take, but I took this game pretty recently, so it's not something I'm terribly worried about. But yeah, it looks kind of Yu-Yu, kind of 5th gen Yu-Yu with some different stuff in it. Our teams are more or less looking like that kind of thing. I don't really think there's really any difference. I mean, it's got Mienshao, it's got Entei on my end, and he's got some stuff from 5th Gen Yu that is just like, well, I've seen all of this shit before. It's not that big a deal. It's just in Gen 6. So, hey, nothing new to write home about. So, I'm going to go and lead off with Mienshao. This is, in fact, the one that missed a lot of high jump kicks, but thank God I don't have to go for a high jump kick on turn 1. I'm just going for fake out to ruin the Roserade's potential sash if it happens to have it. Then I just plan on U-turning out on Cresselia anyways. Switches into Hitmontop. I honestly don't care if he wants to take the hit with the Hitmontop. Damage is damage. I will get it back with Regenerator, so no harm, no foul, even if he gets it back with leftovers. The more important thing in this situation that it does give me the offensive pivot into Entei that I want. I don't have the Intimidate anymore, although Hitmontops tend to be physically defensive because they do get access to Intimidate and whatnot. This is a choice bandit Entei with Sacred Fire. This thing's gonna hurt whatever wants to switch in on it, except for Melodic. And the other thing that would factor into that is if I happen to miss Sacred Fire, which actually can happen, boys and girls. It's like a 5% chance. But leave it to me to have that happen. Also, in same stream, I missed 4 Seed Flares from the same Shaman. I'm thinking I'm just going to toss that thing. It's ridiculous. 3 of them were in a row, might add. I don't think I saved that game, but it was still pretty ridiculous. On top of that, I go into my Electros, and it just gets Dragon-tailed immediately out, and I'm just going to go right back into it. This is an Assault Vest one. I was reading tweets at work, and then I saw Tommy was using one, and I was like, wowie zowie, this thing looks fun. I'm going to try it, because the Electros, honestly, all you really run on is a bunch of offensive moves. Anyways, it's kind of slow, so it has to take hits in order to do well, and believe me, this thing takes hits very well. You get access to Giga Drain from Gen 5, and then everything else is just TMable shenanigans. It's got a great special move pool. It's got a decent physical one as well. I just like the coverage that the special one provides better. And look at that, taking a Sludge Bomb from a Life Orb Roserade at less than 50%. Guaranteed. Definitely has the damage output to match. I mean, Flamethrower almost takes it out just because it's an offensive one. It's got some Natural Bolt going on. If only Electros is just a little bit better on the special attacking side. It's not bad, but it's not great. Overall, I like what they changed up with it. The animation, just everything going on with it. I love it. It's probably my Pokemon of the next week or 2 that you're probably going to see a lot on this channel. Electros, get you one, bank you one, import you one, because otherwise it doesn't get Giga Drain, then it's just kind of troublesome. But I decided to kill it off with U-turn for whatever reason, and I have a feeling that that Victini will probably end up being scarfed anyway, so even if I went for the fake out to kill off the Roserade, I would not want to risk Mienshao being in there anyways. Turns out he goes for the U-turn on my Entei, which I'm not really caring about. Entei can take those all day. I was more banking on taking a V-Create straight out, and he just pivots out into Melodic, as I believe I just end up switching out anyways back into Shaman. Now that I know he's only got Scald and he's got Dragon Tail, he's probably got maybe Recover, and then maybe I don't know, maybe he's got Rest Talk and he's got Scald and Dragon Tail. That seems like a possible thing. I just don't see the need for Scald and Toxic. I have Natural Cure anyway, so yeah. Anyway, this is a physically defensive Shaman. I've been having trouble importing Shamans through Bank because the ones on Pokecheck will not work out. But I had a Twitch viewer of mine send me this one. So, hey, we'll finally start seeing a little bit more Shamans on this channel. But it's not going to take a Brave Bird. At least a sub isn't. I just get to go for a Leech Seed right off the bat. And see what this Honchkrow's rocking. If it's rocking Life Orb, we'll see it, which we happen to. So it's good to know that it's not Scarfed. It's not Choice Banded. It's going to be able to switch up its moves. And I'm also noticing that I'm still slower than it. This doesn't really come as much of a surprise to me in the first place. But I did get the Leech Seed off. I just want to stay in here, get a little bit of recovery back, and then switch out into whatever the hell else can maybe take a Life Orb Brave Bird. The only thing that's looking like it possibly has a chance of doing that is this Entei, just because of the range of HP that it's at. I don't have any flying resistances on my team. I can also more or less counteract this thing by going for the Extreme Speed because it'll dodge the Sucker Punch just because I'm more than likely naturally faster than it. I'm pretty sure I am. Even though the event Entei with extreme speed has to be adamant, I think I still outpace it. But I am going to go for the extreme speed to try to get past the sucker punch. And in comes melodic. I think I get a crit on the E-speed, which isn't really too vital because I think he could have just recovered it off. And crits only being 1.5, I mean, he can take banded E-speeds all day. I figure, hey, you know what? I'm just going to let this thing die. And that's E-speed's regular damage in the first place. Like, I think I just got, I don't know. It's looking really appealing, and then he just Dragon Tails me out into this thing, which can definitely take it on with a combination of Fake Out and or U-turn and or High Jump Kick. Fake Out just to get some good damage going, and then go for a move that isn't High Jump Kick because I have reservations about that attack, and I believe I'm just going to go for U-turn. It ultimately does give him the offensive momentum, but I just didn't feel like missing it. I don't really know whether or not the crit right there mattered or not anyways, just because I went from a 40 base power move to a 70 base power move. I feel like I had some wiggle room damage roll-wise just to take it out. But I'm going to go into Entei because I have 8 HP left. There's no rocks. I don't really mind that much if this thing ends up dying. And we just have a Hitmontop showdown right here where I'm just going to go for a Sacred Fire. And it does a lot. It does a lot even after the Intimidate. It's a solid 2-hit KO with the burn, and I just end up dying into close combat. And I think if I'm not mistaken, I'm probably going to end up having to speed up this next segment because this is defensive Shaman putting in a great amount of work with a combination of the subbing and the seeding and whatever the hell else it wants to do. And these next like 5 to 6 turns you're going to see are just a combination of me subbing and seeding, as I previously mentioned. Ultimately, what I want to accomplish right here is I want to be behind a sub by the time the Hitmontop finishes close combating, because that's all it's going to do. It's going to want to be in a position where I don't have a sub anymore. So otherwise, I'm just going to keep subbing because I'm getting lefties back. I'm getting Leech Seed. It doesn't cost a lot for me to sub at all, especially with the fact that he is, it takes 2 for him to break it. So I'm getting back a lot of his HP as well. The Victini U-turning right here was fairly obvious, just to break my sub and go out to something faster than it, which is why I subbed again. I didn't really mind doing that. I don't have lefties going for, or not lefties, Leech Seed going for me anymore. But I know that Honchkrow is Life Orbed, and it might die to this one, depending on how much HP is at. It kind of looked like it would have at the time, but it dies to Brave Bird and Life Orb Recoil in that turn. So I'm still behind a sub, which is great. And Victini is going to, I believe, or you know what, this might have been the game where I missed 3 Seed Flares. Now that I think about it, I only use Shaman in like a couple of games. But Cresselia is going to come in, and I believe I just go for a Leech Seed. Fantastic thing to have on a Cresselia, by the way. Get a lot of HP back while you're just fighting it, and I probably should have sped this part up a little bit more, which I think I'm going to do right now, because we're getting close to the end of the game. I mean, after all, this is just more Shaman shenanigans. Shenanigans, if you will. Just a bunch of Leech Seeding and Seed Flaring. I figure, hey, I'd dip it up a little bit. But I missed a Seed Flare right there. Thankfully, Shaman is bulky enough to take a uninvested Psychic from a Cresselia. And do I miss another Seed Flare? I don't think I missed another Seed Flare, honestly. I think this is the game where I just missed 1, maybe, or maybe I missed 2. I can't remember. Did I? No. Okay, so I finally get... This is the game immediately after the one that I missed 3 Seed Flares. Really discouraging, by the way, to miss that many in a row. But he did get the Spit F drop. I wasn't at enough HP to take another one anyway. That's fine. I have this thing seeded. I also have... Dr. Proc in the building because he can just proc all these critical hits combined with he's got Night Slash, and he's got the Super Luck, and he's got the Scope Lens, which all 3 of those stacked with each other will guarantee you crits with Night Slash, Psycho Cut, and Stone Edge, which although is not the best coverage, if you find yourself against a defensive boosting monster like I did when I was fighting a Furfro the other night, you can just tear through those Cotton Guards. And Sucker Punch has a 50% chance to crit with the Scope Lens and the Super Luck. I did not get it on that one, which ultimately means that this Absol goes down. I had a game where it got like 7 crits in a row. It put in a lot of work. But in this one, he did not get the fortunate coin flip, but I do still have Mienshao left. I believe I also might have had... What was my last one? I think it could have maybe taken on Victini in the right situation. Was it Reuniclus? Oh, yeah, I would have just triggered and Shadow Ball that sucker. So, that's the end of the game. A little bit of a quicker game. I think there was not any Gen 6 Pokemon in this game, actually, which is kind of funny. But we just had some regular Gen 6 mechanics going on, I guess. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed it, you can leave a like rating, comment, subscribe, and do your thing. Try to get some more battles up, I promise. But now that I have my friend's capture card that I'm borrowing right now, I should be able to get some more recorded. I just definitely need to make time in my schedule. But yeah, leave a like rating, comment, subscribe, do your thing, and I will definitely see you guys in the next one. Later.